Content planning will save you so much time, it will keep you accountable, and you will never be able to make the excuse that you don't have any content ideas. What's up guys, this is Bobby, and in today's video, I will show you how to create a content plan for 2022 and tell you why it's so crucial in order to see growth for your business. As they say, behind every great social media strategy, there's an even better content calendar.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and my life, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if people say that, but we should make it a thing. Before we dive in, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you think you'll like it. That would really help us out. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Running a content strategy without having a content plan is like trying to fly to London without an airplane. It just doesn't work. You will have to cancel your plans to visit the Buckingham Palace. That is for sure. Having a content plan gives you direction, goals to reach, and gives you a structured view on what value you are providing your customers and how. Whether you are planning content for your blog, social media channels, newsletter, or podcast, it doesn't matter. Having a content plan makes you 60% more effective than businesses that don't use one. And surprisingly, from the B2B businesses that do content marketing, which is 88%, only 32% have content plans. Oh no. So if you're using a content plan, you are already ahead of most B2B businesses. So here's a very simple guide on how to make a content plan. Firstly, figure out what type of content you want to create and on which channels you want to distribute them. Here is where you would categorize your content. Common categories include educational, funny, inspirational, and promotional. Other content categories can simply describe the actual type of content you want to create, like white paper, infographic, video, etc. And distribution channels is pretty straightforward. Are you going to publish the content on your blog or your YouTube or TikTok? The list goes on. The second step is to start listing your content ideas. Make columns for each content type and start jotting down content ideas. This is where you need to do a lot of research and planning. If you need ideas for content, it is always great to look at the most recent trends. You can check out websites like trends.google.com or answerthepublic.com. Alternatively, many social media channels now have their own trends pages, like Pinterest or TikTok. Another great method for inspiration for content ideas is to simply look at other social media channels that are similar to what you are trying to achieve and see what type of content they are posting on there. The third step is to find a color code system. Now, this isn't necessary, but it is very useful. When you are looking at a full month's content, it makes it much easier to see what type of content you are creating and when through colors. You can color code based on distribution channels or content types. Once you have all your ideas in different categories, it's time for step number 4, which is actually putting your ideas into a calendar format. I like using Asana to create my content calendars, but you can also use a Word document and simply make a table, or you can use numbers if you are using an Apple computer. Here's where you can decide whether you want to post once or twice a day or only 3 times a week and figure out what works best for you. The one thing I would highly recommend though is to do this digitally because you can always go back and make changes, and if you don't like the placement of something, you can always switch it around. Step number 5 is to monitor and evaluate your content calendar. Check back in with your content calendar and see what content performed well and when, and adjust it for optimal performance. The great thing about a content calendar is that while it gives you structure and a nice plan for the next several months, it is also quite flexible. So if you find that you are trying to put out a lot of content and it's overwhelming, you can always decrease it. Or if you find that the content you had planned is too little, you can always increase it and add more. You can always just adjust it along the way and see what works best for you. So that is how to create a content plan for 2022. In principle, it's quite a simple process. Obviously, it's much more complex when you're trying to come up with content ideas, but at the end of the day, it is super, super helpful and will give you a direction and a more organized and structured overview of your social media strategy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And as always, please subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. All right, we are all set to go.